I caught and released the 6th worst shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I don't want to do it. Shiny Pokemon have existed since Generation 2 and are incredibly sought after by fans of the game. But to be honest with you, not all shinies were created equal, and some look absolutely horrendous, and I'd argue worse than the original designs. It's unfortunate to come across something so rare just to have the shiny Pokemon suck. And to prove this point, I caught and then released the 6 worst shiny Pokemon I could find in the Generation 1 remake, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. See you in the trash can, boys. I started this challenge with Jigglypuff, a shiny that is barely distinguishable from the original. Most shinies have a complete change in all of their primary colors, but the only difference between Jigglypuff's original and the shiny version are the eyes, which just changed from blue to green. That's it. Thankfully, in this game, the shinies have distinct shiny auras, but if this were a game like Scarlet and Violet with no shiny indicators, it would be nearly impossible to spot the difference in the wild. I did a little research and found out that just continuing to chain Pokemon was our best bet at finding a shiny. I caught basically every Jigglypuff and ran in and out of the gate to keep cycling the spawns if there weren't any Jigglypuff on my screen. And after about 12 hours, I finally found what I was looking for. We literally just found it. Let's go! Oh, it looks no different. It looks like ass. Let's go! That's so hype. Let's go! Hell yes. It looks disgusting. But we did catch it. And just like that, we had our first shiny Pokemon. And don't worry if you don't think this shiny is that bad, just wait until you see how bad the shinies are at the end of this video. Following the Jigglypuff hunt, I went for another barely distinguishable shiny, Poliwag. I was ready for a change of scenery after spending 12 hours on Route 8 looking for Jigglypuff, and Cerulean Cave was just the thing I was looking for. The only problem with this area is the severe lack of spawns in the water. Luckily though, Poliwag is extremely common, and once you start chaining it, you can usually find a couple just by surfing back and forth. Again, this was another Pokemon that took an insanely long amount of time to find, which is funny considering that it was one of the Pokemon with actually the highest spawns in this entire video. But finally, after almost 750 encounters, we caught a break. Wait. I think that's it. Let's go. Oh, thank God. Chat, we did it. We did it. Oh, I barely saw that. Oh my goodness. You were here. There it is, chat. Woohoo! Yet another shiny that you can barely tell the difference with, but there are a few more shinies like that, which you'll see in just a bit. After breaking out of Cerulean Cave, I headed to Touch Grass over on Route 2. This spot is great for hunting Pidgey because it's a super common spawn, and once again, you can use the gate to reset your spawns quickly. Luckily with Pidgey, it's usually a low enough level that it's almost always a green circle catch, and it really doesn't move around on the screen a whole lot. This was the first hunt that went relatively quickly, and only 2 hours later, I found what I came for. Oh shit, okay. I had to take a second there, but okay. Holy, that is the fastest we have found a shiny for this. And I barely noticed. I apologize for the late reaction. I had stuff muted. All right, normal Pidgey. Shiny Pidgey. It looks worse. Now that I've caught 3 shinies that look almost exactly like the originals, let's transition to a different kind of ugly shiny, the green shinies. While the Pidgey hunt went relatively quickly, I was a little nervous for how long this challenge would take if the shinies were taking upwards of 10 to 12 hours to find. So I decided to do a bit of grinding on the side and complete the Pokedex, which granted me the shiny charm. For those who don't know, I'll give a very brief explanation of how the shiny hunting works in this game. The best way to catch shiny Pokemon is by chaining, or just continuing to catch the same Pokemon over and over again without it running away from you. Once you reach a chain of 31 of the same Pokemon, the next Pokemon of that same kind will have a 1 in 315 chance of being shiny if you have a lure active, which I always did in this video. Now, with the shiny charm, those odds become 1 in 273 with a 31 chain, but still only for the next Pokemon. With a lure active and the shiny charm, all other overworld spawns have a 1 in 1024 chance to be shiny. That may not sound like great odds, but I do promise that comes into play very shortly. With that explanation out of the way, I headed over to Route 16 where it is super easy to cycle spawns and see all of the encounters at once. With a whopping chain of 4 Doduo, I found something. Just not exactly what I was looking for.
Well, we've found by pure accident Another shiny.
I found it really funny that I managed to get almost the exact same shiny I was just hunting for, and it still looks absolutely terrible. And it's crazy that I got this almost immediately after getting the shiny charm. This did start to worry me about phasing or catching a different shiny Pokemon rather than the one I was hunting for, especially because in this game that will break your chain. But I promised myself I would catch any and all shinies I came across in this video. Surely that will not be an issue later in this challenge. After the shiny Pidgeotto, I was certain I would find Doduo much faster too. I got a chain of 342 and I found my next shiny.
Shit. Alright, well, not gonna pass up a shiny, so it looks alright. I'll give it that. It's kind of a fun, different shiny, so there's that. Enjoy it.
Again, not the shiny I was looking for, but certainly a better shiny than Pidgeotto. Again, this did break my chain, so I had to suffer through the decreased odds for the next 31 encounters. But finally, after all this time, I found the green bird.
Oh, let's go. Yes. Finally. Let's go. Oh, this is such a... It blends in with the grass. It's such a disgusting color of green.
This thing looks even worse on screen, but somehow isn't even the worst shiny I came across in this challenge. The next shiny for this challenge is a Pokemon that is already very green, and the idea they came up with for the shiny version was to make it more green. Anyways, Oddish is a pretty standard encounter on Route 1, and with a ton of open space and houses on either end to reset spawns, it made this hunt pretty enjoyable. After the last hunt, I was a bit more worried about phasing, but at the same time, I was kind of hoping that I would find a really cool shiny like Charizard, which is why I kept checking the sky spawns during this time. Unfortunately, I didn't find a shiny Charizard, but just under 2 hours later, I managed to find what I was looking for.
Oh. Okay. We found it. That was pretty quick. There we go. No phasing this time, which is nice. Oh, it's such a... Oh, it's such a bright color. It looks so weird. That just leaves one left to find.
It's funny how much this shiny blended in with the grass and once again was something that I could easily miss if it weren't for the blatant shiny aura. But now, after all this, it's time for the craziest shiny yet. I wanted the final shiny of this video to be the most wild, and that's exactly what I shot for. But I will have some explaining to do. Not only is Dratini incredibly rare and hard to catch, it's actually one of the best shinies in the entire Kanto region. The only problem? It becomes absolutely terrible when it evolves. Dragonite has a horrendous shiny, which is so unfortunate considering how iconic it is in Generation 1. But for those reasons, I thought it made for the perfect Pokemon to finish this challenge with. So I headed to Route 10 and surfed up and down from the power plant to start my Dratini chain. Right away, it was clear the encounters would be slow, and I could only hope this one would go by quickly. I started with a solid chain and was getting into a rhythm until I made a really big mistake. Okay, that must not be your flea animation then. No. Fuck! It was after one ball. I'm like, if it's after one ball, there's no fucking shot. This absolutely killed my momentum, but I decided to come back to it a bit later. And the next time around, I started my chain, and after a mere 4 Dratini, one of the craziest things happened.
Oh my god. That is so lucky. Holy shit. Actually, so funny because this is a sick shiny Pokemon. Like, in my opinion, one of the best shinies in this entire generation.
This was probably the coolest encounter all challenge, considering it had 1 in 1024 odds, and Tentacool is another one of the best shinies in this entire game. I was super happy to get it, and it gave me the boost I needed to lock in and finish out this challenge. I started another Dratini chain, but found myself having to run from a lot of them and was worried that my chain would break after what happened before. That said, there must have been something crazy going on at Route 10, because after a 22 chain, I was blessed with the final shiny of this video.
Okay. Oh my god, that is so lucky. Holy, that was so fast. This is it. This is the final Pokemon of this challenge. And it looks so goddamn good. There we go. And with that, we have caught all of the Pokemon I wanted to catch for this challenge.
And I will say that this is probably the only shiny that I will really miss when it comes to releasing the 6 that I set out to capture in this video. But it doesn't end here. We still have to get the final evolution. And with that Magmar caught 3000 experience. It's Dragonair to level 55. but that the time for it to transform into the demon and the gremlin that this entire video is based on is now. It's so disappointing. It's so disappointing, chat. It's green. It's green and it's gross. As promised, I set up to release the 6 shiny Pokemon I wanted to find for this video, just to prove how trash they are. So Pidgey, Jigglypuff, Oddish, Poliwag, and Doduo. See you in the trash can, boys. And Professor Oak just tosses them right into the grinder. There they go. I don't want to do it. Because it's Dragonite and it's cool. I don't know if I can, but I have to. Can't get it back. I know. Dragonite. See you in hell. You disgusting, disgusting Pokemon. And with that, chat, we have caught and now released the 6 most horrendous shiny abominations that have graced Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Just to prove that I'm a man of my word, I will save my progress and roughly 40 hours of my life that I will never get back. Gone. Along the way, I did learn that with the Shiny Charm and Allure, shiny hunting actually goes by really fast in this game, and I'd definitely be down to do another shiny hunting related challenge in this game. So if you have any ideas, feel free to drop them in the comments of this video. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one.